Hi, and welcome to this edition of Municipal Mondays, where we talk through just a little bit of the issues facing the state and local governments. And these sessions are really meant for AML members who would otherwise be together here in Juneau for their annual legislative conference. This week, I want to focus on collaboration. Last week we spent time with our membership talking about the American Rescue Plan and some of these very big priorities that have been set by Congress, and many of them, very much relative to the need that Alaska's communities are facing. So these kind of four broad topics that I can see right now include stabilization. How do we leverage federal relief at the state and local level to make sure our governments have what they need to continue programs that are essential for Alaskans? How do we make sure that for local governments who spent from emergency reserves, who shut down or delayed capital projects, um, uh, at all levels of government, how do we make sure they continue to work well in response, not just to the pandemic, but as we emerge from the pandemic, hopefully, um, into the space of economic recovery? And that's kind of the second big umbrella topic that I think is out there and ripe for collaboration. What are the tools that we need to be able to work together across levels of government? And stabilization is first, I think, but together to address economic recovery. And for AML members, I know many of you are focused on an upcoming fishing season, and for many others, there's some for both, but a tourist season. And what is that going to look like? And how do we stand up as many of the public health precautions that we need while making sure businesses can maximize their benefit from whatever these upcoming seasons look like? The other two priorities, I think, set by Congress were broadband, which is a huge need in Alaska. Where we're, I think, last in the nation for connectivity. And, I think I've seen some estimates of, say, $2 billion in terms of what that kind of investment should look like for Alaska. And it's probably much more. But what can we do together to offset that challenge and to work to address it, in this, very condensed time frame between now and, let's say, 2024. The other priority set by Congress was water and sewer. And so, for a lot of the relief funding that's flowing to state and local governments and tribes, broadband and water and sewer are clear eligible expenses. And we know just in rural Alaska, the need for water and sewer maintenance, construction is just right around $1.8 billion. What can we do together to address that challenge? And together is going to be essential. It's going to require, continued support from the federal government to drive outcomes around each of those four areas. It'll mean really close collaboration between the state government, local government, and tribal government. And what are the institutions that can help to coordinate between those three levels of government? Where is there leadership within any that connects with leadership on other levels? To support coordinated campaigns around each of these. And then what are the other partners out there that need to be included in these solutions? And I'm thinking, yes, businesses, but also nonprofits, and also the university system and school districts. For all of those organizations out there who are dedicated to things like stable government or economic development or broadband and water and sewer, how do we bring them together and really let some of the solutions flow from those partners? Some of those partners include our ARDers, our Alaska Regional Development Organizations. It includes our Chamber of Commerce at the state level and then at the local level. Our conventioners and visitors bureaus who are actively, reaching out to groups of independent travelers and promoting Alaska communities and regions and the state. It includes federal agencies or independent agencies like the Denali Commission, and then all of our state agencies. who each have a foothold in many of those areas, from Department of Commerce to Department of Environmental Conservation to DNR. Any of the state agencies who are receiving federal funds right now. We should all be thinking about how do we leverage those federal funds for the best and most useful impact here in Alaska. And throughout this process, I know that local governments will have a role to play. It'll become a question of how much capacity do we have at the local level to support this effort. But I know that AML is committed to assisting as the collaborative glue between them, and to facilitate engagement and again the ability to leverage the funding that's coming in as best as we can to support the many other diverse activities that will be occurring. So thank you for joining us for this week's Municipal Monday, as AML works to strengthen local governments, which we know as the heart of Alaska. Looking forward to future collaboration and to continued communication.